Hi friends, welcome to Code to Simple. Today we are going to discuss about these 5 points in this video. So for the first part, solution to the previous two questions. So till the previous video we have this code already created and these are the two questions, multiplication of 3 number and the summation of 3 float number. So for the multiplication of 3 number, what I'm going to do, I just rename this function like multiplication. This is just for the user understanding. So what this function do? This function do a multiplication. I'm going to call this function here. Change it here. Now I'm going to declare three variables. Let's say suppose 10, b is equals to 4, and c is equals to 2. So we know the output will be 4 2s are 8, 8 into 10, 80. So now I'm going to return the multiplication of a dot b dot c. In C, the multiply sign is this symbol. So this is asterisk and we are going to use it as a multiplier for the C. So once this code, so what it will do, it will declare these three variables, multiply these A, B, C and return this value to here. And this printf statement will print this result. So once it is saved, I'm going to do GCC and the file name. So once it is compiled, I'm write just a dot out and you can see the multiplication is 18. So it's a fairly simple question. Now for the second part, which is a summation of 3 float number, what I'm going to do, I'm just changing this. Let's see, I'll just copy this, paste it here, and I'll just comment it here. Now I'm going to change it as a float. It goes to float addition. Let's see, it's a float addition. Now I'm going to declare three float variable. Let's see, 2.5, 1.2, and let's say 5.0. So if manually we are going to add these three floating number, we will get the resulted as a 8.7. So by program we can do it as a plus b plus c, and here I'm going to write float addition is, since the result will be floating type, so instead of d I'm going to use f, and here I call this function float addition. Just copy and paste it here. So if I'm going to write it here, I'll compile it and I'm going to call it. So it is 8.7 followed by 5 zeros to make it as a 6 digit decimal. So moving on to the next part, which is function in C. So here you can see these are the function, but it doesn't contain any values here in the argument section. Now we are going to study how to pass the values within a function. So the declaration will be return type followed by space of function name and arguments. Here you can see the return type is float followed by space and the function name with the argument bracket and then the body. And how to call this function? Just call as a function name and the number of arguments you want to pass. So if we are going to change this function and passing the value, so we can do it like this. So I'll just copy it from here to here. So now earlier these variables are declared within this function, but now it is declared in main, and I'm going to pass these variables to this function. So now there is no need to write it here. So I'm going to pass these a, b and c values. So I'm going to pass like a comma b comma c. That's it. So this value a, b, c will be passed from this function to this function float addition. Now I need some place where I can store these value. So I'm writing, I'll declare three variable. Let's say float a1, float b1 and float c1. So now the value of a a here is 2.5, it will pass to this a1, which will again goes to 2.5. Similarly, b 1.2 will pass to the b1 also, and c will pass to the c1. Now this abc within this function is undeclared, so my compiler will give me error like this, variable a is undeclared. So what I'm going to do, instead of using ABC, I'm going to use A1, B1 and C1. So just write A1, B1 and C1. Save this file and just compile it. So once it is compiled, a.out file will be created, and I'm going to run a.out and see the same result, 8.7. So it is good practice to pass these values to the function. Now moving on to the next part, which is conditional statement. So in C, the conditional statement is like if statement, if else. So what is a condition statement? So conditional statement is like, let's say a value of a is 10 and variable b contains value 20. So I need to check which variable is bigger, like a is big or b is big. So in C, we can do it with the help of this operator, this greater than. So a is greater than b means 10 is greater than 20, or I can write a less than b, 10 is less than 20. A equals to b. It means this two double equals is used to compare the values within these variables. 10 is equals to 20. Similarly, for greater than equal to, we have this operator greater than plus equals. So you have to concatenate these two symbols from your keyboard. It's less than equals to b, and for not equal we have a is not equals to b. So here it is not, this exclamation mark followed by equal sign. So here my example is a is 10, b is 20. So is 10 greater than 20? No. So this conditional operator will always result in a boolean. So what is boolean? So boolean is a type of data type which only consists of two values, 0 or 1, true or false. It like in digital design you have boolean operators like whether your switch is on or off. Similarly here in computer in C we have this either 0 1 state or true false state. So this conditional operator always returns true. This conditional operators return boolean. So a is greater than b results in a false because this is a false statement. This will result in true because it's a true statement. 20 is greater than. Again this results in false. A is not equals to b. A is greater than equals to b. Again it is false. A is less than equals to b. It is again true statement because a is less than b. This equal is not followed here, but still. And a is not equals to b. Again it's a true because a is not equals to b. So this equal and this not equals to b is actually opposite of each other. So if it is a false, then it will always be true. So now suppose if my a was 20, another example, and b is also equals to 10. In that case, my a is greater than b is false because both are equal. A less than b is again false because both are equal. A equals to b is true. A is greater than equals to b, true. A is less than equals to b, true. And a is not equals to b is false. So in if statement we have to follow these conditions. So if condition, do this. Okay, so this is if statement. So if the condition is true, then only it will go inside this body of the if. Now there is another statement kind of thing in C. It is if else. So if condition is true, then go inside this body. Else, if condition is not true, then do this within this particular braces. Whatever is written in this particular braces will be run if condition is false. So let's see one example. So hash include stereo dot h int main. So I'm writing int a is equals to 10 and b is equals to 30. So I'm going to print which of these is greater. So if a is greater than b, then do something. Else, if a is less than equals to b, do this. Else, do this. Return 0. So this is the body for this checking of whether a is greater than b or not. So if a is greater than b, I'm going to print f. A is bigger. Else, if a is smaller than b, then I'm going to print b is bigger. Else, if both our condition are false, neither a is greater than b and not a is less than b, it means a is equals to b. So I'm going to write a and b are equal. So here you can see after if statement I'm using else then again if. This is called a nested if else operation. So it will follows like this. If this condition is false, it will go to else part and followed this. If a is less than b, if this condition is again false, then it will go to this else part. Now say if a is greater than b and it will become true. So only this statement will run and it will directly goes to return 0. Now I'm going to save this. I'm compile this. Okay, so this semicolon is missing, so I'm just I'll again compile it. Okay, so b is 30 and a is 10. It goes here, it will check, okay, a is greater than b, false. It will go then here, a is less than b, true, b is bigger, and it doesn't evaluate this condition. Now if I check this, if a is also 30, now clear. Now I'm going to compile it again. Now a and b are equal. So you see here it checked all three conditions and then it printed this particular a is equals to b case. Okay. So moving on to the next part, these are the relational operators in C which I already told you, double equal, greater than equal, less than equal, greater than, less, and not equal to. And these are the Boolean values that it will return. Now next part is drawback of conditional statement. So one drawback is very clear from here, like after following these two conditions, it comes here and printed this thing. Now suppose if my code is like this, enter your operation choice and user printed like 5. So it will go still here. It will check all these conditions and then print this thing. So there is lot of overhead in this particular operation. So in the next lecture, I am going to show you how to remove this kind of drawbacks from if else and using some new conditional statements. Till then, you can practice few questions. Only one question I'm going to give you this time. So it will be find the greatest among three integer. So it's a fairly simple question. You just have to use if else and you have to just print out which of the number is bigger. But to find the greatest among three integer, you need to know some C logical operations. So in C, the logical operation are these three symbols. So this will be your logical AND, this is your logical OR, and this is equals to your logical NOT. These operations are very similar to what we studied in digital design, in which if A is true, B is false, then A ampersand A and B is false. So I'll just copy. I'm going to show you the whole truth table of this logical AND. So this is true, this is true. So both are true. This both are false, or one is false, one is true. So these are the four things that can be happen with two variables, that is 2 to the power 2 of 4 possible choices. So true false logical AND will be false, true true logical AND will be true, false false logical AND is false, and false true is false. So you can see only if both the conditions are true, then the result is true. Now logical OR suggests different thing. It says if A is false and B is true, A or B is going to be true. So true logical OR suggests if any of the condition is true, the result will be true. So it will become true, it will become true, false, and false and false. So false true will become true, true true will become true, true false become true, and false false become false. So if any of the condition is true, then the result will be true. And for logical NOT, the condition is very simple. If A is true, then NOT of A will become false, and if A is false, then NOT of A will become true. So this logical NOT just reverse the value of whatever the variable contain. So with the help of these logical operations, you can write the answer of this question and use if else with these logical operations. That's all for this video. Thank you.